Hi guys, once again we are here to discuss to you a very important and very wonderful secrets in photography. I want you to stay by and be excited to find out what are the secrets, what are the secrets I have in photography. So let's go. Let me show you first some examples of the photographs. These are very simple photographs, but let me share with you some secrets that I have in photography. Look at this one. So what is so attractive about this photograph? What about this one? All right. And how about this one? This is a very simple plant around, and to me it was great already when I took this one. What about this one? And about this one. I took this way back in Thailand. And also this one. And this one as well. Now let's talk about the secrets in photography in a few seconds. Alright, are you ready? Here the one. Secrets in photography. The first one, the first secret in photography starts with letter S, which means the subject of interest. When you take a photograph, before you take or before you click the shutter, you have to ask things like, what is the subject of interest? What is the interesting subject in the frame? Are you showing something that is interesting or not? What am I trying to show my viewer? Because if you have so many interesting things within the frame, it turns out that there's nothing interesting about it anymore, because there are so many interesting things. So you have to look only for one very interesting subject in your frame, so that the viewer of your photograph will be directed to that image and they will just see exactly what you want to show them. So the first secret in photography is you must find what is the subject of interest in your photograph. What about this one? What is the subject of interest there? Okay. What about this one? What is the subject of interest there? And how about this one? Are you directed to the bignay or to the couple that are blurred behind? Whatever it is, it's up to you to decide. The second secret is the letter E, which stands for emotions and expressions. You have to understand that when you take photograph of people, you have to watch out their emotions and their expressions. Be aware of the best emotions and expressions in the faces of your subjects, especially when taking pictures of people. Get a little closer. That's where the drama is. When you get closer to the eyes, when you get closer to their mouth, to the faces of people, you can capture their emotions. What about that? You see how happy they were? What about that one? He wasn't aware when I took this one. And Dr. Putsma, the late Dr. Putsma, who happened to be known as the White Mangyan during his time. How about that one? And about that one when I took this wedding. Okay, one of the first weddings that I took when I was so active in photography. The third one is letter C, which stands for creative, composition, and contrast. These are three important things under letter C. That's one of the secrets. You have to vary your angles, try to approach your subjects in different POV or point of views. So what are the different point of views? We have the close-up angle, we have the warm view, you have to lower down the camera or the angle, top view or bird's eye view, and eye level shot. Or backlit or rim lighting, where you put the light behind the subjects where it creates a rim around them, especially when you're taking couples photograph. Here's a bird's eye view shot. I just raised my hand and and took the photograph from the top. This one I lowered a little bit so that I can get the angle of the hand, and at the same time I can see the brightened face of the subject. This one I had to position myself from a different angle so that all the lines will direct the eyes of the viewer to the subject. You know, I posed her just beside the window where the light is coming from. And this one on the other hand is the same subject. I saw her thinking or meditating on something, and I saw her, there was a small hole from the wall, and I took that photograph because it was a dramatic event. She was not aware about this photograph when I took this one. What about this couple? You see, I just asked them to pose there, and then I composed them properly. I framed them with these two poles that directs the eyes of the viewers to the couple. And the next secret that starts with letter R, which means rule of thirds. How can you become a better photographer? So to say, how can you become a better photographer if you don't know the rule of thirds? All right, learn the basic application of the rule of thirds in composition. So what is this? Most pleasing photos have their subjects of interest off-centered. All right, so you better remember this one. You have to put your subject off-centered. Don't put them in the middle because it will be static and boring. So what is this rule of thirds is all about? So imagine your frame, and you put this grid, you know, in your imagination. If your camera or your cell phone do not have the grid, built-in grid, but you have to imagine that there is a grid like this one is divided into 3 parts, vertically and horizontally, and each time the 2 lines intersect, that's where you're going to put your subject. So for example, this one, all right, if you're going to apply the rule of thirds, it looks there, you know, it's in the 2/3 of the frame, counting from the left to the right. All right, and then how about this one? You see the application of the rule of thirds? I put the subject of interest on the intersection of the 2 lines, which is also the third portion of the 1/3 of the vertical lines, and then the 1/3 also of the upper part. What about this one? Is there an application of the rule of thirds? Oh yes, there. So even if you're taking a vertical orientation of your photograph, you can still apply the rule of thirds. Okay, so the next is letter E, which stands for environment. All right, so we have the S, E, C, R. At this time, it's letter E, which talks about environment. Why is it important to consider the environment in taking photograph? Well, let's see. You have to utilize the environment to tell the story in your photograph. Include only important elements that support the story or message of your photos. Do not put anything there that is unnecessary, otherwise you have to crop them. But before you even crop them, you have to decide when you frame your photos to be including only the environment or the elements that are part of the environment. So how about this one? You see, I had to include the people that are flocking the church in Quiapo because they were so interested in coming inside the church. This one also shows that when we climbed Mount Makulot way back in 2009, it was muddy, it was raining, and so I had to document this one so that we know what happens to our sleepers or to our shoes because it was raining before we reached the peak or the summit. There, this is another one. So it was foggy there, it was cold, so I had to capture this one and to show the people that the environment during the time when we reached the summit of Mount Makulot, it was this foggy and cold at that time. Alright, so what about the letter T in the secrets in photography? T stands for time of the day. Is it important to find out what is the best time to take the photograph in any time of the day? It is important. Is it important to take it, or is it appealing to take it in the morning, in midday, in the afternoon, or during night time? So you have to decide on that one. Evaluate which time of the day is best to capture the photo. Warm versus cool, temperature or color. Whatever time it is, you have to consider the quality of light to capture it. Actually, a professional photographer is not limited with time. But if you're given an opportunity to decide, you have to know when is the best time of the day to take the photograph. This one. If I have taken this at night, of course, you cannot capture these striking lights coming from the sun. This was a Saturday morning while we were in the peak of Mount Makulot. And when I saw it, I said, wow, there seemed to be a glory glowing in the midst of nature. So I had to get my camera and fix the setting and then capture it because it was so attractive. Okay, it's the best time of the day. What about this one? Yes, most of the people would come to AUP and capture the gate any time of the day when the sky is so blue. But seldom you would see the gate of AUP was taking a picture when the sun was still rising. What about this one? When is the best time to take a dramatic photograph in Boracay? Oh, I asked the couple when I took their prenuptial shoot there, that is the best time to take a photograph of Boracay is when there are vintas, when there are boats, and towards the setting of the sun. Well, you will see the dramatic sky, beautiful, colorful sky, and then the couple were just posing by themselves. Well, this was a lovely afternoon when the sky, was very, very beautiful. And we decided that the best time to take this photograph is towards sunset. What about this one? I had to wake up early in the morning, around maybe 4 o'clock, and then I set up my tripod and my camera and had this long exposure. This was still very early in the morning, and so I had to wake up in the morning so that I can capture the beautiful sun rising when the sky was still changing its color from orange to blue, because in just a few more moments the whole sky will become blue, and then I'll be missing the orange, the red part, the glowing sun, at the horizon. So you have to decide when is the best time to take your photograph. All right. So the last secrets in photography is the letter S, which means you have to share your shots. Now, what's the importance of sharing your shots? You have to share to inspire others. You have to share to learn also from others, so that when others suggest and give a comment on your photograph, you can learn from their suggestions. It's up to you whether you consider their suggestions or not, but at least you can take comments from other people who may have a different angle, who may have a different view of how is the best way to take your photograph. And then you have to welcome their comments. You don't have to be onion skin when people give comments or critique your shots, and then you will be hurt because you thought that you're better than them. No. One of the secrets is to always be open for comments and learn from other people who may have a different idea how to approach your photograph. And then, of course, welcome the comments and then the critiques. So here's another application of the rule of thirds, where you see the horizon is in the 1/3 part of the lower frame, and then 2/3 parts of the sky is the application of the rule of thirds in a horizontal orientation. This is another rule of thirds. You see that I place the couple in the 2/3 part of the frame in a vertical orientation, or horizontal, vertical orientation. And what about that one? I use the frame, natural frame, and then I capture this couple. This one also, I frame them using the foreground, where I use the leaves, the foliage, and just enough for the couples to be seen by the lens, and so I captured them with this one. So it incorporates the beauty of this blurring foreground, so that the couples behind that are sharper as a subject will be seen in a highlighted manner. Okay, what about this one? You see, this was the sunset. This was about I mean, the sun is about to set, but we saw the glowing and the golden shining sun, and so it was just dramatic. It's similar to rim lighting at the same time. So I had to tilt a little bit of my camera because the moment was so precious, and I had to capture that when the bride to be, or when the bride was really very, very happy. I know these friends of ours. Okay, so friends, these are the secrets in photography. It's easy to remember because it is the acronym of the word secrets in photography. So you have the subject, you have the environment, you have the composition, contrast, and creative shots. You have the rule of thirds, you have the environment at the same time, emotions, don't forget that, and expressions, and then the time of the day, and then of course you share your photos to others and welcome their secrets, their comments, their critiques, so that we can improve some more. And so once again, thank you very much for watching. You can contact me through my email and my number if you want some more instructions. Once again, bye-bye and thank you. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave a comment. And let's learn some more. Watch out for my next video in Click Ideas. Bye-bye. Thank you.